folks. It is June 1st, 2015. And
shit.
this is Surly Grognards. And I got the intro wrong, but whatever. This is Surly Grognards for June 1st, 2015. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing today, Eric?
It was a very dramatic countdown there, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Anyways, yes. I'm glad you're doing all right, I hope. I'm a little scatterbrained today for some reason.
I can tell. You're downright flustered, dude. Sit down, have a drink.
I screwed up the intro, so...
Oh, I'm going to sit down and have a drink.
Oh, God. Anyways, so... we got actually a bunch of topic suggestions from one of our viewers, Azul.
Which is awesome. Thank you, Azul.
Yes. Azul is also one of the people who does highlighting for me on my stream. So, again, thank you for all the highlighting work. Azul and CJ47 the two that do that, and I love them to pieces for doing that, because they're much better at it than I am. I kind of forget to do it sometimes, which is why I got both of them to do it.
I'm terrible at this whole internet thing, so...
Yes.
Like, I blow up spaceships, and I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I watch porn. That's what I do. Also, lots and lots of cartoons, which are sometimes porn.
All right. Anyway, so one of the ones that Azul suggested was talking about... Azul mentions that they're going to see the new Avengers movie soon. And might be interesting to talk about what Marvel's done with the recent movies, like how everything is planned out and has an impact on what's going on with other movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This has impacted other franchises and studios like Fox and Universal, turning out a bunch of movies they have licensed to, as well as DC finally getting a movie on with an actual Justice League movie. And maybe we also talk a bit about the animated universes from Marvel and DC. So we're going to be talking about superhero movies because
awesome.
Because we love... Eric and I are both fans of the superhero genre in general.
Yes.
I don't read comic books much anymore, unfortunately, mostly because I've not been a big fan of what most Marvel and DC had been doing for quite a while in the comic books.
Yeah, I'm not as avid a reader as I have been, partially because the New 52 really murdered a lot of the stuff I loved about DC.
Yeah.
Like, just... Really? You're just going to do away with the whole Skittles lanterns and then make me have to live through it all over again? Really, guys? You had a lot of good shit going on with the Green Lantern Corps and the Sinestro Corps and all that stuff, and then you gave the Red Lanterns their own book. They don't deserve their own book. They're best as villains.
Yeah.
I don't care about Atrocitus' friggin' ennui. Anyway,
yes.
That was my rant about... what they did to the Red Lanterns. So
yeah, here's the thing. I conceptually love the format of the comic book. You know, the problem is they're so expensive now on top of everything else for an individual issue.
Yeah, they've skyrocketed in cost. Like, the thing is, like, look at inflation for any geek hobby, and they all increase in cost in roughly the same rate. Like, look at the cost of miniatures.
Oh, yes.
Like, seriously, like, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, but a comic book is a significant price, like, chunk, like, an individual issue of a comic book is a significant sort of chunk of the cost of an actual novel.
Yes. Yeah, I could spend $6 to $10 on a paperback, or I could spend
like $4 to $5.
$2 to $4.
It's like four to five now almost.
Yeah, it is almost 4 to 5. You're right.
I just look at them like I even if it was like $2.50 for a comic book, the return on like the amount of entertainment I'm gonna get out of an individual issue compared to what I'd get out of an actual book.
Yeah, which is why I always buy trades. I mean,
yeah, same.
Before it was simply a matter of making the media last longer, because I'm really hard on anything with the cover that's too soft.
Right.
I very much treasure my books, but comics just they just don't last in my hands. So I just buy trades.
Yep.
And that's still a decent buy.
It's a decent buy. They're still
It's now like
it's like 25 for a trade.
20 to like 30 for a trade.
Somewhere in that range, yeah. That's actually been pretty stable for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually what surprises me. Is like trades really haven't gone up much in price compared to comic
Trades
books.
haven't gone up much. The cost of actual physical books hasn't gone up that much. It's gone up some,
Right.
but yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've got my collection of Astro City trades, which is the only sort of stuff I've been buying really recent of late. And
Yeah, I've been.
and those come out so rarely that
Yeah, I've been picking. The only thing I'm really collecting trades of right now is Saga. So
that makes sense.
I need to get more Hellboys. What I need to do anyway.
Yes.
The subject at hand
Are the movies though?
superhero movies in particular, and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Can't really call it an experiment anymore because it's been a rousing success.
It was an experiment and it's worked.
Yeah, it's proven to be a license for money.
Well, it turns out that they're also been making good movies. So
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say all of them are great movies.
No, but they're all at least entertaining.
Oh,
You
God,
get
yes.
your money's
Absolutely.
worth
Absolutely.
Bleh.
They're absolutely entertaining. Almost all of them. Some of them are sort of less great than others.
And part of Marvel's like fucking brilliance with this is they're not afraid of their own subject matter. I mean,
Thank
goddamn
God.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yes.
Still,
B-
yeah.
They realize that there's this whole like interconnected media's like got this whole interconnected thing going on now, and they can totally take advantage of that. They're like, no, we don't need to spoon feed you everything in every fucking movie. If you have a question, you could look it up on your phone in the fucking theater.
Do that quietly, by the way.
Yeah, seriously, don't do that. People do, but don't do that.
If you insist on doing it, make sure everything's silent still.
Yeah. Or just wait till after the movie, or ask the guy next to you who's really excited with the "Holy crap, is that Thanos?"
Who's Thanos? We'll work that out after the movie.
Yeah.
But
And Marvel's been stupendously successful with this, partially because Disney's been feeding them money and letting them largely do what they want. So when it comes to cartoons, fuck you, Disney, and your terrible fucking cartoons. I'm not bitter about the loss of Earth's Mightiest Heroes at all.
Oh, the TV stuff. Yeah,
Or the fucking unconscionably lazy animation in Hulk Agents of Smash. Holy crap, that is some of the worst animation I've seen in years.
I've not watched any of that because the idea of it didn't really grab me.
I watched the first few episodes and recommendations from some friends because they're like, holy crap, they have a nihilist in here and blah, 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 blah. All right, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Oh my god, some lazy animation. It's like Hanna-Barbera lazy.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's really
Like-
bad.
90s Hanna-Barbera, but still.
That's still not good.
It's still not good. The animation is inconsistent across individual episodes. They'll really use the same fucking shot in the span of 5 minutes over and over again. Lots of really lazy, just poorly integrated CG. Like, yeah, I've got a lot.
So we're talking like,
We're talking something that will make me rant for hours.
I was about to say, we're talking like, early 90s anime tricks.
Yeah, except early 90s anime tricks also didn't completely ignore an entire aspect of the central character. Try to introduce other characters and shove a fucking, like, reality TV premise down my throat, where the confession booths don't so much break up the action as interrupt it. Yeah, I got a lot of hatred for this show.
Wow, I'm glad I've not watched this. Ooh, that sounds terrible.
I've also become a huge animation snob with the free and easy access of everything.
Yeah. Or at least reasonably priced, thank you, Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, Netflix streaming. I just wish there's more stuff I want to watch on there. But as to the whole sort of interconnectedness of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it's brilliant, but I have a feeling it's gonna start weighing down some of the movies. And
Yeah, it's gonna start. I keep expecting the cracks to show, but it hasn't yet.
Okay.
And I don't know whether that's just because they're doing a really good job of like noticing where the cracks are going and like caulking them up and reinforcing them, or whether it's just they've just been stupid lucky or they really are that good.
Yeah, yeah, I have not yet seen Age of Ultron, and I'm going to at some point. But
My feeling on Agent Ultron is, from purely an objective skillet filmmaking perspective, is that it is a better movie than the Avengers, the first Avengers movie.
sure, that was just sort of a spectacle. It was fun. It
But
was a great fun
it
spectacle.
wasn't.
But
It didn't leave me going, "Holy fuck, that was awesome." The way the other one did.
right. Yeah, I mean that's the
Like-
thing. Is like the big sort of I guess almost crossover type movies, which are like the Avengers.
Which is pretty much exactly what the Avenger movies are.
Right. They're not as good as the best of the other Marvel movies. Like, honestly, the best of the other Marvel movies as a movie is probably the first Captain America: The First Avenger. It's either that or
I got a
Winter
lot of
Soldier.
love for Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a Guardians of the Galaxy is a good, fun sci-fi / superhero action movie. But as an actual piece of cinema, it's not quite as good as either of the Captain America movies, in my opinion. It's
Maybe.
it does action. It does its action scenes are better than Winter Soldiers. But
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
but I will say Winter Soldier is a better told story. The plot is just it's got a tighter plot. I think part of that's because it's not introducing
One of the
quite as
things that
many
makes
characters.
Winter Soldier really work for me is you have Steve Rogers, like friggin' perfect human, like actual realized ideal America, like the avatar of everything we want America to be, dealing with what America's become. And that's really cool. That's what makes
Absolutely.
Winter Soldier works for me.
And the big thing is it's a reasonably well done good spy movie on top of being a good
Yes,
superhero movie.
absolutely.
it's
Plus,
got-
the elevator scene's fucking amazing.
Oh God, yeah. I adore Winter Soldier. I mean, I like First Avenger better, but that's just because I think that the two movies are comparable in terms of well told, well done story, well done plot, well acted, good dialogue. First Avenger has the advantage of its action scenes just work better.
Yeah, part of that I think is Winter Soldier is trying very much to play on like the whole like born identities thing.
Yes.
So it's got more of it plays more with the sins of that series, such as the shaky cam and the rapid editing during fight scenes.
Yeah, and part of that
It's a shame because the actual fight choreography is really good when it's not being edited all to hell.
I honestly, from what I understand, that was the first action movie the director ever done. And so I think part of it is that he didn't.
He saw what other people have been doing.
Well, no, I think it's more that he just didn't trust his own shooting of it.
That could be it.
And that's something that a lot of. I mean, I'll be honest. It's not none of these movies choreograph their fight scenes as well as can be done. That's large. I know this because I'm a big aficionado of Hong Kong action movies.
Yeah,
And they do fight
no one
choreography.
friggin' does fight choreography or fight shooting like a good Hong Kong director.
Well, I mean, honestly, the best choreographed fight scenes I've seen in Western cinema, honestly, are probably in the original Matrix.
Yeah.
And that's entirely because it's choreographed by Yen Wo Ping, who is a god.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Yen Wo Ping is, he's probably the best fight choreographer in Hong Kong.
Yeah, he did a bunch of Jet Li's better stuff, didn't he?
He did. Did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
He worked a lot with John Woo.
Right, he did Hard Boiled, didn't he?
I think he might have. I mean, he's done a bunch of stuff. He's a legend, and he's amazing. I actually watched a really interesting little sort of short, it's like I think 15 minutes or so, about Jackie Chan's fight choreography stuff, about his action movies, because Jackie Chan's amazing. And he was sort of talking about the difference in how fights are choreographed in the West and the East. And it's really interesting, sort of like how, like, way fight scenes are edited and choreographed for a lot of Western movies, and they actually took examples from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm.
And the fight between Nova and Gamora. That's her name, right?
Yes.
Yes, I got it right. You know that fight scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's a good fight scene.
It's a good fight scene.
But whenever any blow is struck, the shot is done from an angle where you can't see the blow actually landing.
Mm.
And it's so like, like someone's about to throw a strike to like their head, and like just before the shot, a strike hits, it cuts to a different angle. And so you see like the person reacting to it, but it's obscuring where the strikes actually would be hitting. So it makes it easier to choreograph because you don't
actually have to worry about accidentally knocking your partner
right.
out.
And I understand why that's the case. But if you go look at the Jackie Chan stuff, like all those strikes are going to be hitting. Well, you see him like the angle stays the same, and you see the blow quote hit end quote.
Yeah,
because it doesn't actually, unless someone screws up. And the other trick that Jackie does, and a lot of
Old Boy in the fucking hammer scene.
Oh God, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, like holy shit! How are they not like both dead?
I don't know. But the other trick Jackie uses, which I think is interesting, is how he will on like certain shots, they'll replay the same hit from a slightly different angles, but you can still see the strike landing, and it actually conveys sort of the impact of that moment in the fight very well. This again because Jackie's amazing. I mean, he's one of the best fight choreographers out there, and he knows how to shoot a fight scene. He's been doing it forever, so I mean.
And if anyone can take a hit, it's Jackie fucking Chan.
Well, yes, because I'm not entirely sure he's human.
Pretty sure that man's just made out of like silly putty or something.
Well, he's broken quite a few bones, including his skull. He's got a metal plate in his head now.
But back to the subject of
right. Yes, but back to the whole thing. Yeah, yeah. As I said, though, I adore both the Captain America movies, and I think they're probably the two best films.
I think
probably
Marvel's greatest strength in its cinematic universe is that each movie can be viewed alone.
Yes. So far, yes.
Without the others.
I would say so far that is the case.
But you are rewarded for having seen the others.
For the most part, I will agree with that.
It's a really good trick that's hard to pull off, and I keep on waiting for them to fuck it up, and they haven't yet.
I would say that's generally the case. There are a couple of in the various sort of ones that have sequels. Like I don't think I haven't seen Iron Man 3 yet, but I don't think Iron Man 2 stands on its own very well.
No, Iron Man 2 is probably the weakest of their movies.
I'd agree with that. I haven't seen Dark World yet. I don't know how well Thor: The Dark World stands up without having watched Thor.
And I can be a little bit more forgiving regarding that with direct sequels like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
And 3 and Thor: The Dark World and whatnot, and even Winter Soldier, which still holds up on its own.
Winter Soldier.
You don't need to have seen the first Avenger. You just need to know who Captain America is.
And they explain who Captain America is very quickly and succinctly.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of that's because Captain America is such a well-defined, strong character that you don't need a lot of time to explain who he is.
Yeah, that was one of the things they did in the Ed Norton Hulk movie was they didn't bother telling you the origin story. In case you didn't know, they did it during the credits. And then the movie jumps off with the fact that he's been on the run for a long time and he's hiding in South America. Go!
Yeah. I'd say that's almost definitively the weakest of the Marvel movies, but
yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Iron Man 2, but
I don't know. I like it better than Iron Man 2, just because Iron Man 2 had a lot of potential that it squandered.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of interesting places they could have gone with Yonko, and they went with the most boring of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, I definitely think that this whole interconnectedness has been a strength so far for them. But much like the sort of the way that having it's a similar problem eventually could develop that's happened in most comic books.
Yes, where it just
there's so much
shit.
Where there's so many stories going on that are overlapping, interconnecting that eventually it bogs down.
And then you have a friggin' Crisis on Infinite Earths or Flashpoint or name your DC crossover here, honestly.
Yeah, or
Where they have to go and reset everything.
or the upcoming one they're
Secret
doing,
Wars,
Secret
yeah.
Wars, and they're going to be doing in Marvel. Because Marvel's apparently going to be rebooting their comic book universe, and it needs it badly.
Yeah, it Marvel managed to. I remember reading somewhere about how Marvel managed to balance all of its shit, and that was because they worked on a sliding scale. When Galactus show up a few years ago, when Spider-Man gets his powers a few years ago,
Yeah.
that sort of shit,
Which kind of works, but eventually it kind of.
But it eventually just started. Even that started to weigh everything down, and it just doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah.
Also, it's a good way for them to get rid of the properties that they don't currently have the cinematic rights to, which is a horrible cinematic thing to do, but entirely what they're going to do.
What? No. Oh,
Not
yeah.
cinematic, cynical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the Fantastic Four? We don't have the rights to that, so fuck them.
Mutants?
What are mutants? They're all Inhumanoids now.
The Inhumans. Oh boy. I actually kind of like the Inhumans conceptually, but they really don't. The reason they haven't done much of them in the comic books is because they've had they've
had the mutants,
right? And they sort of fell sort of a similar niche. And honestly, the X titles were for a long time more compelling,
and were frankly their best stuff for a long time.
Yeah, Claremont's run on the X-Men was actually pretty damn amazing.
But then as far as other cinematic universes come around, I've got no faith in Warner Brothers.
Why would you?
Warner Brothers is terrified of its own subject matter. They're scared to do a superhero movie.
Yeah,
and like they've had success with Batman, so
Yep.
everything needs to be like Batman, and that is the death knell to so many things.
Here's the other interesting thing: is that they've had a lot of success with Nolan's Batman.
Yes,
Specifically, and as much as good a director as Nolan is, and he's a great director.
yes,
I cannot argue that. It's like, oh yeah, Nolan's a really good director, and there's a lot about his Batman movies that are really good.
yeah. The Dark Knight is of classic for a fucking reason.
That said,
It is not a universe where you can have Darkseid and Superman and Plastic Man running around.
you can't have a lot of most of you can't even have the DC animated universe version of Batman there.
Yeah.
That's the thing they're not comic book movies. They're not superhero movies.
They're vigilante movies where he just happens to be wearing a costume.
Yeah, that's what it's the Punisher.
It's Death Wish if Death Wish is wearing a cowl.
Yes. Yeah, and he's not he's less murdery.
Yeah, and he's less murdery. He's a lot less murdery, honestly.
Yes, because the Death Wish movies have ridiculously high bounty counts because that's the whole point.
And a whole wicked lot of murder. So much murder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, Charles Bronson in The Death Wish is very much sort of a sort of.
He's pretty much the definitive '70s action hero.
Well, he's almost a spiritual ancestor of the Punisher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same
Yeah,
freaking
he's
character.
pretty much Punisher. You're right.
And that's not
family got killed by pimps. I'm going to murder all the pimps. I think that was the story in Death Wish. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
That's basically it.
I know there were a lot of pimps getting shot.
Now, I see. This all points to one of the many reasons why I am not a fan of the Punisher as a quote hero, end quote, or even as a protagonist. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Punisher.
You can work with the Punisher as a protagonist. But it's a very different story than Spider-Man or Superman or whatnot.
Or I guess he just doesn't fit in well with the.
And he does work best with that sort of '70s cynicism. Aesthetic.
He does.
Like, you can't have your shining beacons of hope like friggin' Captain America when you're running around shooting gangsters with your assault rifle.
Here's the thing: is you can do interesting things with the Punisher and Captain America. The problem is that you have to point out exactly how much they are not on the same side.
Yeah, it's very true.
Which is fine. And when Captain America looks at Frank Castle and goes, "Wow, you're a horrible disappointment."
You are a monster. You're the worst kind of monster. You're a monster that thinks he's doing the right thing and has noble reasons.
And when Frank is told this, is sort of admitting that yeah, he is basically a monster, he becomes more interesting.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I'm not a good guy. I'm just doing what I think has to be done. And, yeah, I'm still not a fan. But back to the cinematic universe stuff, though.
But yeah, and here's the thing with Warner Brothers, because they're the ones I want to talk about right now. You've got the Nolan Batman movies, which are not going to be part of the universe, because they can't be. There is no room for the fantastical in those movies.
No, dear God, no. And that's fine. I mean, they stand on their own pretty well.
You have the completely missed mark of the Man of Steel.
Right.
Which I don't even know if you've seen yet. But
I have not, because it's not available for me to watch on stream on Netflix streaming. And as I said, once it's available on Netflix streaming, I will watch it. But
and we'll do a whole show about how much that movie disappointed us.
And I'm fairly certain that it'll be a show filled with as much bile as I can spit forth. But
and actually, the upcoming Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, or Birth of Justice, or Justice Dawn Birthing, or whatever the stupid subtitle is.
Oh my God! I watched the trailer for that,
and
wow,
yeah, it's the kind of thing that I would have loved 20 years ago when I was an angry teenager, but it's just not. I also didn't like Superman when I was an angry teenager, because I was a dumbass angry teenager.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about why we think Superman gets short shrift these days.
Yeah,
we covered it pretty heavily on an earlier
we've covered it pretty heavily, but and they're cramming friggin' like, if the rumors are to be believed, you're gonna have Aquaman and Cyborg and Wonder Woman and Dr. Fate and all that shit crammed into one movie that's supposed to be centrally about Batman and Superman thinking they're on opposite sides, but at the end realizing they're on the same side. Because they're not mutually exclusive. They're not Captain America and the Punisher.
No, they're not.
They are on the same side, that just have different ways of going about it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing, is that if you, it depends on which version of Batman you have. If you have Batman from the vast majority of the media he shows up in, he works fine with Superman. He's a good counterpoint for Superman.
Yes, and that's frankly the Batman that works best. The Bruce Timm Batman, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, why isn't Bruce Timm in charge of this?
Because David Goyer is.
But he shouldn't be. The man here's more. There's an interview out there somewhere where someone mentions Martian Manhunter to him.
Oh my God, yes.
And he laughs derisively and says he's too ridiculous to film.
It's not just that. It's not just that he's too ridiculous. He's too niche. Also, nobody's heard of him except for
everyone.
Except for nerds who haven't gotten out of their parents' basement and have never gotten laid. That is actually his quote.
Yeah.
And to which my reaction is, yeah, you got famous in superhero movies with Blade. Let me tell you something, Goyer. Blade is more niche and less well known when you made that movie than Martian Manhunter is right now.
And more to the point, like, dude, these are your bread and butter. These are your fans. Don't insult your fans. You're not a Norwegian death metal band. They don't like it.
And it's like, he goes on about like how the part he objects to in the name Martian Manhunter, by the way, because he objects to the name, is not the Manhunter part.
It's the Martian part?
Yes!
But he's from Mars.
It's like, yeah, if he was just a Manhunter...
It's actually kind of a really cool... Martian Manhunter is actually kind of a really cool idea. It's like, yes, there was life on Mars. Now there isn't. I'm the last one. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, and he's come to Earth and has become a detective because he's trying to fit in with Earth and trying to figure out humanity. And he thinks... And he hunts down... He's a Manhunter because he's,
Because he hunts criminals.
Right. That's an interesting concept for a character.
That could be a really cool story. And if you're scared that the Martian part's going to scare off general audiences, just call it Manhunter.
Yeah, except that sounds stupid. And it doesn't bring
across... So does everything else.
But Martian Manhunter, I mean, here's the problem is, Martian Manhunter is objectively a silly name.
It is,
Do you know what also is a silly name? Spider-Man.
Yes.
Spider-Man, if you look at it purely objectively, is a stupid fucking name.
Yes.
You know what?
Most superhero names are.
Yes!
Green Lantern, what the fuck does that mean?
Batman!
Doctor Doom, one of the best comic book villains ever, has a stupid fucking name.
Batman is a dumb name.
But you know what? That's okay because the characters behind them are fucking amazing.
Yes!
That's what it's all about, is that you have these characters, these rich histories, and yes, sometimes they're absurd and ridiculous. You've got Batman running around in a fucking kaleidoscope friggin' zebra suit. But you know what? It was the golden age that shit like that happened.
Yeah. But
yeah, what I'm saying is I have no faith in Warner Brothers.
Oh, God, no.
I'm probably going to end up going to go see Batman versus Superman, The Electric Boogaloo. And, you know, I'll get drunk first. And I'll probably end up hating it because they don't know how to handle their own shit. Everything... Here's the thing. I like Grimdark. When done right, Grimdark is awesome. The right context, Grimdark is awesome.
Sure.
Superman doesn't belong anywhere near fucking Grimdark.
I would agree with that.
Like, I'm amazed that Winter Soldier worked, because that's pretty grimdark for what is supposed to be the friggin', like, shining avatar of our ideals. Like, Captain America should not be anywhere near a morally gray friggin' spy thriller, but he was, and it worked great.
That's because
Marvel knows how to handle their shit.
Well, it's because in Winter Soldier, they're intentionally playing up the contrast between Cap and his morality and his ethos versus the sort of grim get things done
get things done and damn the consequences, the morals of it of Shield.
Right,
and it works because you've already established who Captain America is in another two other movies.
Well, it's not just that. The other important thing that you realize and the thing that they get across is Cap's the good guy.
Yes.
And you are there to root for Captain America. And he is doing his damnedest to be the good guy and help people.
Yes.
And it's abundantly clear that he cares about helping people.
And he has real objections to what's happening.
Yes.
Based on very real concerns.
Yeah.
Which does not come across at all in Man of Steel, I just want to say.
So I've heard.
When Pa Kent advocates killing children to keep your identity secret, you know you got a winner. That's an extreme. It's not as bad as I make it out to be.
Yeah, I've heard you're exaggerating, but still.
I am exaggerating. It is hyperbole for the purpose of comedy. It is not that bad, but yeah, it's bad. It's not a good scene. Does not make Pa Kent the bedrock of Clark's morals, which he should have been.
Yep. No, here's the thing is. And Cap is nuanced and he's well written, and Chris Evans does a fantastic job playing the character.
Yeah, holy crap! Like, so much better than his run as as the Human Torch.
Well,
because he has a script and directors that know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, that'd be why. But yeah, I do think I will say this. As much as everything, I'm not a fan about the way Warner Brothers has handled their movies. I can see what they're trying to do.
They're trying to do the contrast to Marvel's happy, fun, good time movies, and doing the grimdark alternative, which is the opposite of the usual DC Marvel relationship.
It's really weird, but yeah, they're deliberately going for a more Iron Age feel.
Yes,
and I can accept that is something that should be out there possibly. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it, but Iron Age
is really cool. The problem is, if you're going to use characters like Superman and Wonder Woman and these other big icons of moral uprightness, you need to establish them first before you start throwing them into gray situations.
Here's the thing. I think dropping Superman, even like in a quote first Superman movie, into a sort of Iron Age grim sort of sort of into an Iron Age sort of story can work. I can totally see that working. I could see, like, again, going for that conflict.
I could see Chris Reeves' Superman being dropped into, like, all the kind of ridiculous, horrible things that Warner Brothers is trying to do. But they don't have a Chris Reeves for their Superman.
From what I've heard, the guy, I forget the guy's name, who played him in Man of Steel. But I'm not going to even write off him as an actor or anything like that.
No. I'm not doing that. It's just that the way Zack Snyder portrayed him.
Yes, well,
there's too much. There's too much malaise to him.
Yeah.
He's just too weighted down. I'm amazed that he can fly.
But, like, again, playing up Superman as that sort of contrast against the rest of the ethos of the world would be interesting. Especially if he decides, wow, this all sucks, and I could lose hope and go the way everyone else is. But I refuse to be. And even if that, like, you could do some interesting stuff by showing the costs of that to him. Yeah. And the fact that he soldiers through that is like, wow, holy fuck, Superman is fucking awesome. I think I mentioned it on the stream before, but there's an episode of Young Justice. Great show, I recommend it. Shame it got canceled. Yes, well.
There's a scene where after the time skip, there's a time skip in it, I'm sorry, where they found these aliens that have been kidnapping people for whatever reason. They never really find out why. And they go and they hit their main facility. And they bring in some of the Justice League heavy hitters, including Superman along. There's a bomb the aliens don't know about, planted by the real villains of the show, that is going to vaporize everything there. So while the Young Justice team gets everyone out, Superman tries to talk the aliens to letting him save them. Because he can't get the bomb away quickly enough. The blast radius is too big, even with Superman flying. But he can get them away. And also, he doesn't know where the bomb is.
Right.
And he's sitting there begging them to let him save them while they're shooting at him. And he catches the bomb in the face and spends the rest of the half season laid up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Superman!
That's Superman!
I mean, I've said this before. Part of the reason I love Superman is when he's told well. It's like Superman. The reason Superman is interesting, and the reason Superman can be interesting, is because of the conflict of his ethos with his level of power.
Yes.
A Superman who is willing to kill stops being interesting, given how powerful he is.
Yeah, and that I'm of two months of the whole killing Zod at the end. One, it's such a cop out. It's such a not Superman thing to do.
Right.
And there are 10,000 different things that he could have done besides snap Zod's neck.
Right.
On the other hand, it shows a moment of frailty in that if it had been done right, it would have shown a moment of frailty and humanness to him in that he panics.
Sure.
But that's not what happened. At least that's not what they showed in the film. Or at least that's not what I got from the film.
Yeah. Also, if he bothered, actually, even if they just
even if he
bothered to try to save people
or try to get Zod out of the city.
Yeah.
Slight spoilers. I say slight because it's in the fucking trailer. For Age of Ultron. Hulk loses his shit and goes nuts in the city. Iron Man tries to stop him, and he's got the big, crazy Hulkbuster armor. The whole fight, Iron Man is trying to get him out of the city.
Right.
And it's just that, it's the fucking Hulk. He can't...
Right.
But yeah, the whole fight, he's trying to get Hulk out of the city. He's doing everything he can to minimize casualties or property damage. But, it's the fucking Hulk.
Right.
Even with a 12-foot tall mega suit. but they actively show him trying to minimize the damage and get him out of the city and save people. Fucking Rocket Raccoon saves more people than Superman.
Rocket fucking Raccoon!
The lunatic machine gun toting cybernetic raccoon bounty hunter saves more people than Superman in a Superman movie. This has really become a we hate Superman's portrayal in the movies lately.
And I haven't seen it! So, yeah, but going back to where I was going with all of this, because I was going somewhere. I'm talking about the whole sort of, Iron Age-y thing they're doing.
Right.
I may not like it. I may think it's a betrayal of the way Superman's portrayed, and a lot of the way the DC universe that I used to like is being portrayed. That said, I think they could do something that is, like, honestly, I will never like these, very likely. That said, I think they could do something objectively interesting, and I think that's where they're going, with building a sort of more Iron Age-y.
Sure.
Please. So Iron Age-y sort of collective universe. And if they do try to keep sort of some threads running through all this stuff, it could be interesting. And they may actually tackle some of the problems with Superman and the Man of Steel in the upcoming movie, with Batman basically pointing out Kal-El's complete crap as a hero from the first movie. And maybe Kal-El will learn something from that. I don't think they're going to, because I think they're incompetent morons. From everything I've read. And from what I've seen in the trailer, I am not led to have hope for that. Because the way Batman seems to be approaching the conflict with Superman is a lunatic, I have to kill him.
Yeah.
This, by the way...
very on-Batman, also.
Yes!
Batman doesn't kill. Seriously. For all his spooky, grimdark, vigilante-ness, he doesn't kill. He's like the one guy in the entire DC universe that will never kill. Like,
I mean, it's him and Superman. I mean,
even Superman, I can see killing someone, before Batman. Like, killing someone would fucking break Batman.
It would ruin Bruce.
It would break him. It would break him more surely than Bane.
Yeah, I mean, like, he came back from that.
Yeah.
After
you had some lunatic in powered armor running around killing people in his name.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Although, you know what? In hindsight, the whole Azrael as Batman thing was actually kind of brilliant, because it was like, here's everything you want in fucking Batman. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, it's
this
entirely.
Is why it's a bad idea.
This is why what you people say you want from Batman is not what you want from Batman.
But yeah, there's a lot you can do. There's Iron Age stuff that I like that they can do. The whole, I actively like Nightfall.
Sure.
And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it, and I don't have faith.
Oh, I have none.
I really hope that they do Aquaman right, because Aquaman deserves to be done right.
What Aquaman honestly deserves is something to make people forget about the fucking Super Friends.
Yes. And you know what? Jason Momoa fighting Cthulhu, that's what it could be.
I'm down.
That's what I'd be down.
I'm honestly down for that.
Because you know what? Aquaman fights Cthulhu every time the stars is right, which, guess what, is a lot of fucking times.
Yeah, like, Aquaman versus otherworldly horrors. By the way, this is what Aquaman's main job is.
Yeah.
Suck it! Aquaman's awesome!
Yeah, and they touch on that in the Justice League cartoon.
Yes. Because the Justice League cartoon was very good.
Yes. And it's like, where are all these horrible monsters come from? Sorry, we're kind of overwhelmed down here. What do you mean overwhelmed? This happens a lot down here. What? You want to come chip in?
It bothers me that so many, like,
yeah,
as funny as Sean Baby's thing about Aquaman and how useless he was in Super Friends, because he's right, he was.
Yeah,
And
it
his
was
thing with that was
utterly
funny.
useless and, yeah.
The problem is that people seem to think that people have then applied it to Aquaman everywhere else, and it
Yeah.
and it's led to some unfortunate things, like Aquaman going a bit darker than he probably should be in the mainline comic books for a long while.
Yes.
It's like,
Bruce Timm, again, who can do no fucking wrong, it seems, did a really good job of making Aquaman as badass as he should have been in the DC animated universe. Why aren't they using that as the model?
because they hate us, Eric.
They do.
They hate
Seriously,
us specifically.
Yeah. Just seriously, it was the best fucking, like, 20 years of action cartoons ever done, period. Like, Batman Animated Series, Superman, Batman Superman Adventures, fucking Static Shock.
Static Shock was good. Justice
Yes.
League. Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
JLU,
Holy shit,
Justice League Unlimited,
Unlimited.
had a few turkey episodes, but the show as a whole was great.
Yeah, hell, they went all crazy Iron Age, the whole Cadmus thing, and it was beautiful and awesome.
Yes, because again, they played the counterpoints between stuff. I mean, again,
Yes.
you had the counterpoint between Cadmus and Superman and Batman.
You had a big, like, knockout, drag-out fight between Superman and Captain Atom. They're both utterly convinced that they're right. And it's heartbreaking because they are both right.
Yeah.
There's because Superman wins, because he's fucking Superman. And for all the Red Sonite radiation fucking Captain Atom could throw out there, it's still Superman. So Captain Atom's sitting there with this cracked and broken containment suit, and the Cadmus team medical team runs, and he's like, no, he's one of ours. We take care of our own. And then he carries them out of the ruins back to the fucking Justice League ship.
The Watchtower, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because that was awesome. So yeah, you can do everything that we said that they're trying to do that Warner Brothers is trying to do, their cinematic universe. We just don't think Warner Brothers film can do it the way a Warner Brothers animation did.
They probably can't. I think that's the way they're trying to go.
Yeah.
I just don't. Neither of us have faith they'll be able to pull it off.
And Sony proved that they're utterly incompetent.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I am not optimistic for the new Fantastic Four movie, just because they've screwed it up twice now. So they're rebooting it, and I'm certain they're going to screw it up again. Also, Doctor Doom should not be a blogger.
Yeah, that's the rumor. I'm hoping we're wrong. I'm hoping that was a red herring thrown out there.
God, I hope so.
He is friggin' like Crown Region of Latveria.
I'm hoping he's Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Because he's Victor fucking Von Doom.
Yeah.
He speaks in italics.
Where the hell did you get a name like Von Doom? Well, I didn't have a name before because of Norvin. But now I'm in charge of Latveria, and it's got a certain gravitas to it, so I'm using it.
He speaks
and that's all you need to do.
He speaks in italics and doesn't use the door like peasants. Would you come to the door like a peasant? Oh, God, I love Doom.
Doom is fucking awesome, yes.
But all you need to know about why Doom is fucking awesome. Go watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Season 2 opener, The Private War of Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, that's a really good episode.
And you get to watch Doom own the Avengers.
Yes.
And make them look like a bunch of idiots.
He doesn't even do it by being more powerful than they are.
Well, he does that partially.
By being smarter.
Well, the thing is, like, it's very clear that, like, Iron Man comes in, like, they come, Thor's not there.
Right. Because Doom is not dumb.
Right. But the Hulk is. The Hulk shows up. I remember Hulk shows up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he's playing cards with the Thing.
He's playing cards with Hawkeye and the Thing.
And Johnny Storm.
Right.
And random aside.
That's a great scene.
It's a great scene. Also, Ben Grimm, the Thing, is probably my favorite Marvel character. I love Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm's pretty fucking awesome.
There's just something.
The more I see of Ben Grimm done right, the more I like him.
He is the everyman brick. He is a quintessentially great guy.
Yeah.
He's a normal Joe, great guy, has your back to the end. Is just an all around good guy, and he's got this whole thing where he looks like a monster.
Yep.
And the great thing about the way it's evolved is over time people have begun to like early on people were horrified by him, and as time goes on and he becomes more outgoing, people realize, wait, the Thing is awesome. Everyone, like the people in the Marvel universe all go, oh, not everybody, because obviously there are people who are dicks, but people see past it and it's great.
Yeah. There's a bit in it's just one page I read. It's a conversation between Ben and Sue.
Yes. Oh, it's one of my favorite bits.
Yeah, and Ben's in a huff about something and feeling self-conscious about being monstrous.
Yep.
And he says as much about to Sue, and Sue's like, Ben, seriously, you're like the most human guy I know. I'm married to a shape-shifting mad scientist. My brother flies around on fire all the time because he can, and doesn't think about the consequences. I'm constantly being stalked by a lunatic in powered armor with magic powers. And then there's you. You were just, forgive the expression, my rock.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find the actual quote, because
Yeah.
I think I bookmarked it at some point.
And it's just it's a great scene, and it really sums up like how everyone ends up relating to the Thing. Which is why the Fantastic Four movie is going to suck.
Yeah, because everyone forgets that Ben Grimm, because a lot of people who've been making the movie seem to forget Ben Grimm is like the heart of that team.
Well, here's the thing. He was the best thing about the friggin' the previous two Fantastic Four.
Well, yes, that's because Michael Chiklis is amazing.
Michael Chiklis sold it like a motherfucker, and they actually used practical effects, which worked when he was doing it for the movie. And the problem was everything around him just sucked ass. Ben was great. Everything else blew.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically the scene where Eric's talking about with Sue and Ben is the important bit is like Ben's feeling like they all pity him, and she's like and she's like, yeah, there are times we get that it's like that, but pity's the last thing I ever feel for you, because have you ever looked at the other men in my life? Have you noticed what egomaniacs they all are? There's Reed, God forbid he should ever make a miscalculation, or I have to say I don't know. Johnny, he thinks he's God's gift to women. He couldn't handle having a hair out of place at any moment. And then there's Namor. I mean, Ben, Namor. Do I need to say anything more?
Oh, I want Namor to show up in the cinematic universe.
Yes! Because Namor's a great character. He's an asshole.
But he's the perfect kind of asshole, too. It'd be so great watching Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Oh my god, I want
and
this!
Namor try to out-asshole each other.
I want this!
Who do you get to play Namor, though? That's the question.
The problem is that the person who should have played Namor is Robert Downey Jr.
Can we clone him?
No. I don't know.
Can we convince Ed Norton to do it? That'd be great.
He's got the wrong... as an actor, he's got the chops, because Ed Norton has... Ed Norton. He just doesn't have the right physicality for it, is the problem.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, I don't think Downey Jr. does either, thinking about it now.
A young Downey would have.
Maybe,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe?
Yeah, I could do Rob Lowe. Yeah, that would work. Chris Pratt.
Eh.
No, not
No, Chris Pratt's not the right...
He's too much... He's too comfortable playing nice guys. I can't see him being that kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love... the Thing is one of my favorite Marvel characters. I mean, it was for a long time. It was him and Spidey, and then Spidey started sucking. So then it was just
around the Clone Saga.
What? No. Yes, totally. I've told the story before.
Yeah.
Right. Where I walked to the comic shop, picked up an issue, and then it's like, oh, the Scarlet Spider thing, and the Scarlet Spider. I'm the real Peter Parker. Done with this. Which is a shame, because I haven't gone back and looked at some of the Spider-Man stuff.
No, Spider-Man's had some great stuff.
Since then, and also some of the Clone Saga stuff is actually not as bad as I remembered it.
Yeah.
Most of it is.
Spidey's had some great stuff. There's a... he spent they actually evolved where Spidey was going with his story. Like, his life didn't suck utterly. He was teaching high school science.
Yeah, well, that's because actually having their characters change is something that was kind of new to Marvel in some
Yeah,
ways.
and it was a great place for Spidey. There were still a lot of really cool stories you could tell with that. And then one more day.
See, here's the thing, and this is the thing that both Eric and I sort of have. I think we've said this also with the whole One More Day thing. Is I can appreciate that you want to reboot Spider-Man in a large way and go back to being able to tell stories like about the younger, more unsure, not attached to anybody Spidey and all that stuff, and have things be difficult.
Sure, they were doing that with fucking Ultimate Spider-Man, which was good.
But even if you want to do this in the main storyline, do you know how you do this instead of having a make a deal with the devil and erase his marriage? You have him pass the mantle.
Yeah, yeah, just have him retire.
Yeah,
It's
Spidey.
not like legacy heroes aren't a thing that can't be done well. Look at
Right.
the Flash.
A legacy Spider-Man. I mean, seriously. At this point, Peter Parker's in his 40s. He's married. He loves his wife. He loves. He does.
He's got a job that he loves.
And also,
there's nothing that says he can't come out of retirement when they really need to.
right. And
Again, look at the Flash.
and if he keeps doing this, he's gonna. And eventually, people are gonna he'll have to reveal who he is, and he'll put Aunt May in danger, and all stuff. Okay, fine. Retire.
Well, doesn't he reveal his ID?
Yes, he does because
Civil War?
because Civil War.
Yeah.
Because fuck Civil War.
I need to actually read that at some point. I've just only read synopses of it.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts, Eric. It hurts so much.
Yeah, part of the reason I haven't picked it up is because, well, you and a couple other people have ranted incessantly about it.
Oh.
Too much venom.
Civil War is when I started hating Iron Man.
Yeah.
I used to love Iron Man. And the movies have saved him for me. Well, the movies in Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Wait,
That's
Tony can be a not complete dick. He can be an entertaining, fun dick who's actually at heart. Tony
He's
should be
actually
a
a good guy at
jerk ass
heart.
with a heart of gold. That's the whole
Yes.
point of Tony Stark. Not
And
megalomaniacal asshole.
yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes should have been the start of a Marvel animated universe.
Yes, it should have. We're never going to get it.
And then they killed it, and they brought in friggin' Avengers Assemble, which has many of the sins, though not quite egregious as Hulk Agent of Smash. Yeah.
Clockwork Grunt in the chat asks, are we looking forward to Captain America 3 Civil War?
Yes.
I
Yes.
am...
You know why? Because Marvel's cinematics have not failed yet. And I'm curious to see where they're going to go.
I will give it a shot. I am nervous as all fuck.
To be fair, Age of Ultron was nothing like Age of Ultron. So
I know. So,
I want to see where they're going. There are rumors saying this is supposed to set up Planet Hulk and then World War Hulk, which would be awesome. Oh, come on. That was great.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Hulk is Conan the Barbarian in space. Come on. That was brilliant.
Not my cup of tea. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, overall though, I do say I think we both agree that at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's case, the continuity between the movies has been a strength.
Yes.
Although
and
as
like
I said,
they've been very good at using like other media to reinforce things and shore up their holes.
They've done a pretty good job at not having the movies be unwatchable unless you've seen all the other ones. And they've done a good job so far not having everything be buried under its own weight.
Yeah.
I'm concerned it'll eventually get there, though.
Honestly, I've been amazed that I was amazed that Avengers worked, the first one.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be worse than it was.
I was amazed that it worked, and that it was not only that it worked, it was really fucking good.
Yeah. But yeah, the other Marvel movies coming up, I'm I'm hoping to God Ant-Man is good.
Yeah.
I'm not an Ant-Man fan.
I'm not a Hank Pym fan.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Because he's kind of a... I don't like Hank Pym.
I liked him in
Don't
Earth's
like
Mightiest Heroes.
Huh?
Again, I liked him in Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I did up to a point, but then at some point he just started like, really, dude? Really?
Well, I'll point out that the bit where it really got bad is the bit where he actually left the team.
Yes.
It was perfectly timed. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, we're completely sick of your show. He's leaving. Well done. Well played.
Well played. Well played.
You're supposed to react to him this way. Well done. It's like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, and Clockwork Grunt points out the Thomas the Tank Engine scene in the trailer. Yeah, if nothing else, it's got that kind of sense of humor.
I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about that.
Yeah. After Sucker Punch, I am never friggin' going into a movie with high hopes again. I will be the best I'll have is cautiously optimistic.
Right. I'm cautiously optimistic about Doctor Strange.
I really want that to be good.
I am praying it's good because when Doctor Strange is good, he's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes.
When Doctor Strange is bad, it is god awful. There is really no middle ground with Doctor Strange is the problem.
It's true.
He is either amazing or terrible. I'm optimistic because they got Benedict Cumberbatch, whom is a brilliant choice to play Dr. Stephen Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude's got the voice.
And the diction...
He'd be a great Doctor Doom also.
Oh, he'd be amazing as Doctor Doom.
Because he does, in fact, speak all in italics.
When he wants to, yes. Cumberbatch, and he's really fun. I like him a lot. I'm looking forward to it. That said, it could be terrible because Doctor Strange really goes only one of two ways. So, yeah.
I really want that to be good. I really want to do the whole otherworldly, like, horror, psychedelic weirdness that marks a really good Doctor Strange.
What the one upcoming Marvel movie I am praying the most that is going to be amazing and awesome is the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Because it's Carol Danvers.
Are they doing Carol Danvers? Or
they're doing Carol Danvers, Eric.
Okay, that's pretty... I would have been cool if they're doing Kamala Khan, too.
Sure.
That would have been pretty fucking awesome. She's great.
No, they're not doing Miss Marvel. They're doing Captain Marvel.
Awesome. Okay.
And I love Carol Danvers. She is awesome. She kicks ass. She's a good person. She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's great.
Awesome.
I'm
great.
praying that it is a good movie.
You know, my first exposure to her was in the 90s X-Men cartoon.
And she was good in that.
She was great, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, what? What is this person I've never heard of before?
Yeah, well, the problem...
apparently I was supposed to have.
She was kind of a big deal for a while, and then Rogue stole her powers and put her in a coma.
Right.
Oops.
Fucking Rogue.
I can't be that hateful about it because I love Rogue. I really do.
Yeah, Rogue
She's
is
one of my.
awesome.
She is one of the X-Men characters I adore. I love her to pieces. I love Nightcrawler to pieces.
To be fair, that fucking Rogue was an affectionate fucking Rogue.
Yes, she's awesome.
Rogue is awesome. I like Rogue a lot.
She's not my favorite X-Men. That is by and far definitively Nightcrawler.
I got a lot of love for Beast. Beast is my good boy.
He's up there too.
Beast is awesome.
I always forget about him for some reason. I don't know why, because he's awesome.
But yeah, Nightcrawler's great. He's a friggin' teleporting elf demon pirate who is sometimes in space.
I'll put it this way: the thing I love about Nightcrawler, I came to love Kitty Pryde also. I have to admit this. It's like she's a kid character. But wait, she does. I don't hate her.
No, Kitty Pryde actually ended up being pretty damn cool. Particularly in Excalibur, and she was hopping around.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean
Yeah.
Excalibur? You mean mutants whose lives don't suck?
Yeah.
And Captain Britain, because,
Captain Britain's awesome.
Just, yes!
Excalibur
Excalibur was
have
great.
An Excalibur cartoon. How awesome would that be?
It would be amazing.
Let's take a bunch of mutants and have them fly around space, solving crimes and being dashing goods and thwarting ne'er do wells.
It's like the concept of watching Nightcrawler doing his fencing thing with them.
Yeah,
Because
they
Nightcrawler
could cross over with the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon every once in a while. It'd be great.
would be amazing.
Just have a scene of like Kitty Pryde and Rocket Raccoon sitting there drinking, and Rocket's like, "Aren't you a little young for this? What are you, like 4? Yeah, but I'm a raccoon."
Actually, what's a raccoon? But
Right. What's a raccoon?
But I think we probably should wrap things up here at this point.
Yeah, we've been going on for
we've run a bit long. Long story short, we both of us are big fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Both of us wish that the Marvel animated stuff the good stuff was still around. That they didn't keep killing off the good stuff.
Yeah. And replacing it with decidedly mediocre Drek.
We also wish that, Warner Brothers would look at the DC animated universe and sort of go, wait, we should
put Bruce Timm in charge.
Why is Bruce Timm not in charge of this? Seriously, why is Bruce Timm not in charge of this?
Probably because he was like, "You guys want to put me in charge of this? Awesome. Everything will be cartoons forever." Bruce, why don't we're going to go another direction?
I mean, just have him have him do the writing, be in charge of make sure the writers are on point.
Yeah.
And get actual get directors who are not abjectly terrified of superheroes.
Here's the thing: I don't think Zack Snyder is. It's just that Zack Snyder has. There are things I really like about Zack Snyder as a director, and the things that he's got some glaring weaknesses.
I'm now curious about something.
What's that?
Just keep talking.
And he's got some glaring weaknesses, and the problem with Zack Snyder is he doesn't do nuance or characters well. With the exception of Watchmen. He did really well with Watchmen. But yeah.
Okay. He directed Watchmen. I'm sorry, is there something he's done that I don't hate? Watchmen.
Yeah. No, he's got a great he's got a great visual vocabulary. The problem is he fucks it up with a lot of other shit that doesn't need to be there.
I'm going to say this. I'm not a big fan of the Watchmen movie.
I like the Watchmen movie.
It was okay.
I thought it was fucking coherent, which amazed me.
Yeah, I mean, I like Watchmen. I like the Watchmen graphic novel a lot up until the ending, which got stupid.
Which they did fix in this movie.
They made it less bad.
Yeah, made a lot more sense in the movie.
Here's the thing about Watchmen, which is, you look at the ending, and the ending of Watchmen, and I had this realization recently. And the only way the end of Ozymandias' plan makes any fucking sense, given how brilliant he is that he's actually the most optimistic person ever.
Yeah.
Because eventually, scientists will reverse it. His whole point is to force humanity to work together to make things better. Okay. The thing is that eventually these scientists, who are not as smart as Ozymandias, but are all very smart, working together, will figure out what was done. And the only way Ozymandias would have to know that. And the only way his plan makes any sense is if his assumption is that humanity will, once forced to work together like this, will stay working together afterwards, even when it's revealed that they were tricked into it.
Yeah, and I can buy Ozymandias being the most optimistic person in the universe.
Which isn't hard, given the rest of Watchmen. It's pretty bleak.
It's pretty bleak, but I can buy it because he's the smartest man in the universe, and he still put on a stupid costume and fought crime.
Yeah. As I said, the only way it makes any sense is if he's a gigantic optimist. Because if he's at all cynical, he would know the plan wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's a better plan in the movie, but it still has the same problem.
And less so because you've already established. He's already worked really hard to establish that Dr. Manhattan is not the angel he's made out to be.
Well, yeah, and that's not hard because Dr. Manhattan isn't.
No, it's true. Dr. Manhattan is driven purely by cold, hard logic. He doesn't understand how to be a person anymore.
Right. At any rate, we got to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for watching. We all usually leave time at the end of each episode for viewer questions. We didn't get any this week, which is a good thing because
we went long.
We went long. Yeah. But if you've got viewer questions you'd like us to answer on the show, please feel free to email them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can hit us up on our forums, which you can find at mechagm.forumer.com. Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can leave a comment in the comment section below the video. If you've got show topic suggestions for us, we love those to pieces. It means we can talk about things that you want to hear us talk about. Also, it saves us prep time.
Yeah.
It means we spend less time thinking about, what do we want to talk about this week?
Yeah. I like turtles.
We can only talk about Eric's love of dinosaurs so much.
Yeah, it's true.
And giant robots. And giant robot dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs fighting giant robots.
Right.
If you haven't seen Kung Fury, go to YouTube and watch it right now.
Right. If you've got feedback for us, either constructive criticism, ways we can make the show better, things we're doing really well, etc., we love getting that stuff too. Same places. We record the show every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/mechagm. So keep an eye out for this there. I sent out a tweet when the show's going to go live. My Twitter handle's @mechagm, so keep an eye on that, and you'll know when the stream's about to go up. Or if you want to, and you're watching us live, just follow the channel, and you'll get notification when the stream's going live. And I upload the recordings this to YouTube. YouTube.com/mechagm is my channel, and just hit follow, like and subscribe there, and you'll know when episodes go up there on the recordings. And I think that's basically all we got time for this week. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week with some damn cool topic. Maybe we'll talk about spaceships we think are awesome in science fiction.
Yeah.
We spent about 15 minutes before the show just talking about that. And arguing about one ship in particular, which we will not go into right now.
Defiant is better.
Goodbye, everybody.